Good day, my beloved brothers and sisters in Christ. The Philippines, a tropical archipelago with over 7,000 islands. But have you ever wondered, could this nation be named by God in the Bible? Is it possible that ancient prophecies mention this land thousands of years ago? In this video, we uncover a shocking truth, biblical references that may point to the Philippines. Could this nation be part of God's plan for redemption? Watch until the end to discover the surprising answer. Part 1: A nation called by God. The Philippines are a collection of thousands of islands scattered across the Pacific Ocean. But why is there a theory that the Philippines may be referenced in the Bible? Let me take you back to ancient times, the era of prophets and divine revelations. In Isaiah 42 verse 10, God says, "Sing to the Lord a new song, His praise from the ends of the earth." What did the phrase, "ends of the earth," mean to the ancient Israelites? The ends of the earth didn't just signify geographical distance. It also symbolized a remote, unknown place where God's name was yet to be proclaimed. Looking at a modern map, you'll find the Philippines located in Southeast Asia as one of the farthest regions from the Middle East. What does the phrase, "ends of the earth," mean to the ancient Israelites? Ends of the earth didn't just signify geographical distance, it also symbolized a remote, unknown place where God's name was yet to be proclaimed. Looking at a modern map, you'll find the Philippines located in Southeast Asia, one of the farthest regions from the Middle East. The term islands here doesn't merely refer to geography. In the Bible, islands often symbolize remote lands, places untouched by the light of God. With its thousands of islands, could the Philippines be part of this prophecy? Looking at the Philippines' history, before Spanish missionaries arrived in the 16th century, the gospel had never been heard in this land. This aligns with Isaiah 66 verse 19, "To the distant islands that have not heard of my fame or seen my glory." When missionaries arrived, they not only brought the gospel but also found a land brimming with spiritual potential, a place where faith could take root deeply and spread widely. So, could the Philippines truly be referenced in the Bible as a nation destined to place its hope in God? Or is this merely a coincidence? What makes the Philippines unique is its strategic location. For centuries, the Philippines has been seen as a crossroads, where east meets west. This is not just a geographical concept, it's a spiritual one. When the prophecy about the ends of the earth is spoken, it's not merely about a remote place, but a gateway for the gospel to spread. From a nation once shrouded in paganism, the Philippines has become one of the largest Christian centers in the world. Is this a mere coincidence, or is it the fulfillment of prophecies written thousands of years ago? There are still untold stories, and the mystery of the Philippines' role in God's redemptive plan is waiting to be discovered. The Philippines, a small nation with thousands of islands located in the heart of the Pacific Ocean, could this country hold a special place in God's redemptive plan? Prophecies and biblical narratives may help us find the answer, unveiling a mystery few would expect. Let's start with the prophecy in Isaiah 49 verse 6, "I will also make you a light for the Gentiles, that my salvation may reach to the ends of the earth." The phrase, "ends of the earth," carries profound symbolism. In biblical times, it wasn't just a geographic concept, but a representation of far-flung regions where God's name was unknown. On a modern map, the Philippines, a nation situated at the far southeastern corner of Asia, stands out as a potential ends of the earth mentioned in the prophecy. But it doesn't stop there. Consider another verse in Isaiah 60 verse 9, "Surely the islands look to me, and the ships of Tarshish bring your children from afar." With its thousands of islands, the Philippines has long been a hub for international trade. Since ancient times, maritime traders crossed oceans to seek resources such as gold, spices, and pearls from this region. Tarshish, referenced in the Bible as a distant and prosperous land, could symbolize areas like the Philippines. This nation has been seen as a land of great potential, both material and spiritual, by ancient civilizations. Even more fascinating is the role of the Philippines in spreading the gospel. In the 16th century, Spanish missionaries brought Christianity to the islands. The Filipino people not only embraced the faith wholeheartedly but also preserved and propagated it across generations. Today, the Philippines is the largest Christian nation in Asia. Filipinos have carried the light of the gospel to many parts of the world. Filipino workers in the Middle East, a region with significant religious challenges, continue to share their faith, becoming modern-day missionaries in a global context. So, could the prophecies in Isaiah truly point to the Philippines? Let's examine another verse in Revelation 7 verse 9. After this I looked, and there before me was a great multitude that no one could count, from every nation, tribe, people, and language. This highlights that every nation plays a role in God's redemptive plan. The Philippines, with its deep faith, history, and dedication to spreading the gospel, may indeed be part of this greater narrative. Finally, it's not just prophecies. The Philippines' culture and spirituality also testify to the country's unique role. From religious festivals like Sinulog to the fervor and worship practices, Filipinos have made faith an inseparable part of life. This isn't a mere coincidence, it might be part of God's grand design. Is the Philippines a nation called by God? The answer may still be unclear, but one thing is certain: this country is, and will continue to play a significant role in humanity's redemptive history. This mystery, like a shining light, remains for us to explore. Part 2: Shocking Biblical References. Prophecies in the Bible are often filled with profound meanings, and as we turn the pages, unexpected details about far-off islands emerge, drawing fascinating connections to the Philippines. So, could this nation truly be referenced in ancient prophecies? Let's start with Isaiah 60 verse 9. Surely the islands look to me, and the ships of Tarshish lead the way. This prophecy paints a powerful image of distant islands, places where people put their hope in God. In the context of biblical times, the islands didn't merely represent geography, they symbolized lands beyond the reach of the ancient Jewish world. The Philippines, a vast archipelago, fits this description well. Tarshish, described in the Bible as a wealthy and distant land, is often associated with coastal civilizations or regions abundant in natural resources. What's even more intriguing is the correlation with the missionary history of the Philippines. Isaiah 66 verse 19 says, "To the distant islands that have not heard of my fame or seen my glory." Before Spanish missionaries arrived in the 16th century, the Philippines was a land untouched by the gospel. Indigenous religions were primarily polytheistic, with nature worship and reverence for local deities. But when missionaries brought the gospel, the Philippines quickly became a hub of Christianity in Asia. This aligned seamlessly with the prophecy, from a place that hadn't known God's name to becoming one of the strongest nations of faith. Today, the Philippines is the largest Christian center in Asia, home to millions of believers and world-famous churches. The San Agustin Church, the oldest church in the Philippines, built in the 16th century, is not only a symbol of faith but also a living testament to the spiritual transformation of a nation once unfamiliar with God. Quo Church, where millions of pilgrims gather annually to express their faith, is a striking image of how an island nation can become a spiritual beacon. However, what's even more remarkable is how the Philippines has transcended its role as a recipient of the gospel to become a source of light. Filipinos travel. Could it be that these prophecies not only describe the past but also offer a vision for the Philippines' future? A nation that once lay in darkness now shines as a light to the world. Is this merely coincidence, or the fulfillment of God's promise? The answer awaits discovery, but it's clear that biblical prophecies are not just ancient tales, they are alive and vibrant in the history and faith of an island nation like the Philippines. The Bible is filled with prophecies and hidden narratives, opening layers of meaning that transcend time and space. One of the greatest mysteries yet to be fully unraveled is the connection between the prophecies about far-off islands and nations like the Philippines. Let's delve further into the verses that make us pause and reflect. Isaiah 42 verse 10. The ends of the earth sing to the Lord a new song, His praise from the ends of the earth. You who go down to the sea, and all that is in it, you islands, and all who live in them. The phrase, ends of the earth, is often interpreted as a symbol for distant places where God's name is not yet known. But why are the islands emphasized here? From a geographical and historical perspective, the Philippines and AC Capella, located in the far southeast of Asia, thousands of miles from the Middle East, might be the most fitting candidates. Notably, the people of the Philippines, Ezekiel 27 verse 5, the wealth of the islands, the men of Rhodes traded with you. Many coastlands were your customers. They paid you with ivory tusks and ebony. This verse is part of a prophecy about Tyre, a great ancient trading city. But what stands out is the mention of distant islands supplying precious goods, like ivory and ebony. The Philippines, with its rich history of natural resources, was once a destination for explorers and traders seeking gold, spices, and pearls. Could the Philippines be among these distant islands that contributed to the prosperity of ancient civilizations, as described in the prophecy? This isn't just about economics, it also alludes to a willingness to give. The gifts from the islands could symbolize the Philippines' contribution to God's redemptive plan, not only through resources but through unwavering faith and sacrifice. Revelation 21 verse 24, the glory of the nations will walk by its light, and the kings of the earth will bring their splendor into it. This is a vision of the future in God's new kingdom, where all nations bring their glory to Him. The Philippines, with its deeply rooted faith, might play a part in this grand picture. The country's major religious festivals, such as Calig and the Black Nazarene Feast, are not just cultural symbols, but expressions of gratitude and reverence to God. The glory of the Philippines may very well be its steadfast faith over the centuries. Jeremiah 31 verse 10, the islands will hear His voice, hear the word of the Lord, you nations, proclaim it in distant coastlands. He who scattered Israel will gather them and will watch over His flock like a shepherd. The image of a shepherd gathering his flock is inspiring, especially in the context of the Philippines as a nation with a significant Christian population. The Philippines is not just a place that received the light of the gospel, but a source from which that light spreads to other lands. Wherever Filipinos go, they carry with them a spirit of worship and devotion to God. Like sheep being gathered by the shepherd, these prophecies don't randomly describe islands or far-off lands. They remind us that no place is too remote for God's light to reach. The Philippines, with its unique geography, trading history, and strong faith, seems uncannily aligned with these descriptions. Is this coincidence, or is it part of God's plan for this nation? The story is not over yet. These prophecies, when paired with the history and culture of the Philippines, reveal a new perspective on the role of nations in God's redemptive plan. And do you believe the Philippines is part of this grand design? Part 3, Historical and Spiritual Significance. The Philippines, a nation situated in the heart of Southeast Asia, is recognized as one of the largest Christian countries in the world. What makes the Philippines unique in God's plan? The history, culture, and spirituality of this nation tell a story not just of receiving faith, but of spreading it and fulfilling a mission. The history of Christianity in the Philippines began in the 16th century when Spanish missionaries brought the gospel to the islands. What sets the Philippines apart is how this faith was received and grew. Unlike many other nations, where Western religions faced resistance or were confined to specific social classes, Christianity took deep root in Filipino communities, becoming an inseparable part of the country's cultural and spiritual identity. Even more fascinating is that the Philippines has not only embraced the gospel but has also become a vital bridge for spreading it to other nations. In modern times, millions of Filipinos have left their homeland to work in other countries, particularly in the Middle East. But they bring more than their culture; they carry their faith, transforming themselves into gospel messengers in environments where that faith is often restricted or prohibited. Consider this: when Jesus issued the Great Commission in Matthew 28 verses 19 to 20, "Go and make disciples." The faith of Filipinos is not just a personal aspect, it is a crucial part of their global spiritual legacy. They are living proof that God does not only work through powerful nations or politically influential entities, but also through small nations to accomplish His great plan. What makes the Philippines even more unique is that their faith is not only demonstrated through its spread but also through their distinctive spiritual practices and rituals. Festivals such as Sinulog, honoring the Santo Niño, and the Feast of the Black Nazarene in Quiapo are not just cultural events but deeply religious occasions attended by millions, reflecting their profound faith. These practices reveal something significant. The faith of the Philippines is not merely an external influence brought by missionaries, it has been internalized by the people and transformed into a core element of their identity. This reflects a shift from being a recipient nation to an ascending nation. Let us revisit Isaiah 42 verse 10, "Sing to the Lord a new song, His praise from the ends of the earth." The Philippines is not just geographically distant, it is a place where God is working powerfully, transforming its history into a living testimony of His greatness. A small nation of islands has become a beacon of light, carrying the gospel to places once thought unreachable. Is this miracle coincidence, or is it part of a grand design? Biblical references, when revisited, seem to not only describe the past but also illuminate a vision for the Philippines' future and God's global redemptive plan. One powerful example of the Philippines' role is the prayer communities led by Filipinos in Islamic countries. Despite challenging circumstances, they remain steadfast in their faith, bearing witness to God through their actions and words. This demonstrates that God's power is not limited by borders or cultural barriers. The Philippines is not just a nation, it is a symbol of obedience and profound faith. It has moved beyond merely receiving the gospel to becoming a light to the world. Its role in the global redemptive plan is a reminder that anyone, any nation, can be used by God to fulfill His purpose. Do you believe the Philippines is part of this plan? This mystery continues to unfold, and their story is only just beginning. Conclusion: the mystery of the Philippines in God's plan. So, is the Philippines truly mentioned in the Bible? It's a big question without a definitive answer. But one thing is undeniable: this nation, with its inspiring history and unique role in faith, appears to be more than just a waypoint in the flow of redemptive history. It seems to be an integral part of it. Let's revisit the biblical references we've explored. The prophecy about the islands putting their hope in the Lord, Isaiah 60 verse 29, the call for the ends of the earth to sing praises to Him, and the imagery of those who dwell on distant islands. While the name Philippines doesn't appear directly, these prophecies paint a picture that uncannily aligns with this archipelago nation. From receiving the gospel centuries ago to carrying that faith across borders, the Philippines has shown that faith knows no boundaries of geography or culture. A nation used by God, the Philippines is more than just a country. It is a testament to how God can use any place, any people, to fulfill His grand plan. From cultural festivals reflecting deep faith to the role of Filipinos in spreading the gospel across the Middle East and other regions, the story of the Philippines is a reminder that every nation, large or small, has a place in God's divine plan. Faith and the future. More importantly, this story isn't just about the past, it's about the future. The Bible says in Revelation 7 verse 9, a great multitude that no one could count, from every nation, tribe, people, and language. The Philippines, with its fervent faith, may play a vital role in that great multitude. They will continue to sing the new song prophesied by Isaiah, not just for themselves but for all humanity. From a distant land, this nation has become a beacon, spreading light to places once thought unreachable. In the end, the answer to whether the Philippines is directly mentioned in the Bible lies not just in verses or prophecies, but in how we recognize the nation's role in God's redemptive plan. The story of the Philippines doesn't end here. They continue to write new chapters, serving as a living testimony to His power and His grand design. So, what do you think? Is the Philippines truly called by God? Or is their role in redemptive history a testament to something even greater? That anyone, anywhere, can be used by Him to bring light to the world. Whatever your answer may be, remember that this story isn't just about the Philippines, it's also an invitation for you to discover your role in God's redemptive plan. Because, like the Philippines, you too are part of this extraordinary story. What's your take? Could the Philippines truly be named by God? Share your thoughts and don't forget to hit subscribe to uncover more biblical mysteries.